How's it going, everyone? My name is Meister, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about Ruby Amethyst versus Ruby Sapphire Sisu on Ice. Sapphire Ruby Sisu on Ice is one of the biggest obstacles that players have to go through during the release of Set 4. Luckily, Ruby Amethyst found an upgrade that made this matchup heavily in our favor. Truth is, Sapphire Ruby has become very greedy with ramping and item combo. In most of the games, you won't even see a character until turn 4, or till they reach 4 inks, unless they run techs like Pegasus, Flying Steed. While Ruby Amethyst became more well-rounded through the help of Flynn Rider and Sisu, which gives the deck a choice to go fast in early game instead of the traditional one-cost character into Madam Mistake into Maleficent. The matchup, if simplified, is pretty easy to understand. Play aggressive and try to finish the game as fast as you can. Now, let's talk about your opening hand before we get into situational stuff. The ideal opening hand is one-cost character, preferably a Chernobog's followers, Flynn Rider, Sisu, Queen's Castle or Merlin Goat, and Brawl. Having this hand almost guarantees you a win, especially if the version you're playing against doesn't have a Sisu Emboldened Warrior or a Pegasus Flying Steed. The Flynn Rider and Sisu combo are just too fast for them to handle, especially if you play a Queen's Castle on turn 4, which you're attacking from 2 different angles. 90% of the time, if the opponent plays a 1 jump ahead on turn 2 and a Flavershim on 4, the game is usually over. Brawl is also a great tool to make sure the opponent's Flavershim doesn't draw the next turn after it's played, but make sure to read the board and your hand well, since there will be times where it is okay for Flavershim to stay if you are super ahead, and putting more pressure on them will get you a better result. An example of this will be if they play Popsicle on 1 jump ahead on 2, Fishbone Quill on 3, or Flavershim on 4. If you play as Chernobog's followers into Flynn Rider into Sisu, by turn 4, you can just play a Queen's Castle, then another Queen's Castle on turn 5. Now, let's discuss really quick a situation where they play a Pegasus on turn 2, Brawl or Sisu on turn 3, Grammatala on turn 4, and Maui on turn 5. This curve will definitely slow you down on your goal to reach the finish line fast. If this happens though, it is not the end of the world. This will mean that they are not ramping or setting up a bunch of items for their win condition. They are also not drawing that much, which means this will give you a fair late game match where it's gonna rely heavily on your skill and looking for openings to put pressure on your opponent. At this point of the game, try to control and poke. Take out their characters using Madame Medusa, Lady Tremaine, Brawl, Beaking Undisputed, or even Be Prepared. During late game, Merlin Rabbits will be your best friend. This will allow you to keep up with the resource war while questing whenever you get the chance. Pay attention to how many cards they have and how much of that you can take. Look for openings where you can play the Queen's Castle as well. They are weak to locations since the only answer they have is Maui. Maui isn't even enough to take it out in 1 turn. Some key things to always remember are, so apply pressure as much as you can and force them to play Be Prepared. This way, on the following turn, you can just spam the Queen's Castle. Don't let Flavershim draw, save Brawl and Medusa for it to prevent Hiram from getting too much value. Beaking Undisputed and Tremaines are your best friends when taking out Tamatoa. When late game comes, especially if they manage to ramp and set up items, be aware and always count how much lore can Tamatoa get if the dime is online, so you know when to take a risk and go all in for a chance to win. Be aware of 7 to 8 ink turns. Do not overextend to avoid getting punished by Be Prepared or Big Sisu. Attack from multiple angles using your characters and locations. Identify slow plays and punish them for it. These are your openings. Lastly, go fast in early game or when given the chance in mid and late game. I always advise my viewers in Twitch how important a simple fundamental principle in card games are. The basic aggro beats control, control beats mid-range, and mid-range beats aggro can go a long way. And once you understand that you can even see that some aggro can have mid-range aspects to it, or mid-range can have heavy control aspects to it, or control can have aggro aspects to it. Overall, the current version of Ruby Amethyst has all the main archetypes aspects to it. At the end of the day though, once control is added to the deck, it will mainly be classified as a control deck. But again, it's important to understand that it has the other aspects of the other main archetypes to it, and that makes this deck so flexible. Use those aspects in every matchups, and learn how to utilize which side of the deck is needed to win certain games. Against Sapphire, Ruby, Sisu on Ice, use the aggro aspects of the deck, but don't underestimate its control side either, as it can be very handy if going fast doesn't go your way. If you happen to learn something from the video or enjoyed it, please don't forget to smash that like, subscribe, and bell button. Don't forget to comment down below your thoughts or your ideas, or just leave an emoji because it helps. Other than that, I hope you have a great day and stay healthy. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace!